Hey there, Flicksters. By the way, did that insult any of you? I'm sorry, that was kind of insulting. Anyway, guys, it's time for Q&A number 19. This is where you ask anything and everything, and I sit here and basically humiliate myself and give you all the juicy details on my sad, perverted life. Okay, so let's jump in right here. First question. Jennifer Lawrence was Ask Men's Most Desirable Woman of 2013. What do you think of this? And what did you think of Ides of March? Ides of March was good. Jennifer Lawrence, Hunger Games. Not my most desirable woman of 2013. Definitely not. She's hot. I would like to hunt her down in the woods with a crossbow like in the Hunger Games. And then drag her body into a cave. Anyway, you know what? She's hot, but not my most desirable. I'm more of a Amber Heard / Jessica Biel kind of fan. John, which are your fondest memories? Early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s? I would say in the early 90s, I remember riding my little Power Wheel truck up to the gas station and getting out and buying bubble gum, and then I get back in it and drive home. And I lived in a small town, so it was like a safe little community. I wasn't going to be abducted or anything and tortured. And in the mid-90s, in the mid-1990s, I remember my parents were friends with this guy who was a general manager at a hotel, and this hotel had like swimming pools and all kinds of other really nice things. And we used to go there and stay every once in a while, just on the weekend for something to do. And I remember doing that, and they had like an arcade. I just run around this hotel doing whatever the hell I wanted and playing X-Men, the arcade game. Late 90s, the late 90s were kind of just a very transitional time for me. We moved, I went to a new school, and then it seems like after 1999, time just flew by. John, what do you think of Nickelodeon becoming such sellouts this past decade? Do you miss the old shows? Please give me a shout out. His name is Corn Kid. Corn Kid, you are a badass. Yeah, you know, I don't watch Nickelodeon anymore. Yeah, their old shows used to have heart. They used to have balls. All the new stuff is like Justin Bieber or Hannah Montana standing around. Actually, I think that's a Disney Channel. But all the new Nickelodeon shows are a little too baby down. I remember, you know, shows like Doug. You know, that had a different meaning behind everything. Ren and Stimpy. Good God, that was an adult-rated show almost. It was just... They basically had symbolism for everything they were really talking about. But I used to love that one show, what was it? Oh, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was good. That scared me. John, what's your biggest disappointment in movies this year? So far, I haven't really decided what my biggest disappointment is. Everything that I thought would kind of be mediocre was... but I would have to definitely wait until I do my end of the year video on that. So, what do you think do you ever think you'll come to Australia? If so, we can hang out, mate. I can show you the sights. If I ever do come to Australia, please take me in, because I don't want to pay for a hotel room. What happened to your Blu-ray steelbooks of The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and Inception? I did buy the steelbooks for those because they were all like $5 at Best Buy one day. I ended up trading them in for some other movies because I already owned all the movies with slipcover. I actually had a speech impediment, and that's why I got rid of them. No, I prefer the slipcover versions of the movies compared to the steelbooks. So I actually traded them for different movies. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know where I'm going to be in 5 years, and I don't want to be there. So that's why I'm savoring these moments right now. That's really why I'm making YouTube videos. I just want to look back on when I had everything ahead of me in life and I could relax. And that I'm going to basically go back and watch these old videos over and over as I'm sitting there with 3 kids and working a job I don't want to. You know, but in 5 years, I don't know. My thing is I want to start a company up where I can work for myself. That's my goal in life. Hey John, have you seen the trailer for the Pacific Rim? And if so, what did you think of it? The new Pacific Rim trailer was pretty badass. It definitely looks like a big epic movie. You can kind of just eat popcorn while you watch. It looks like it's going to be a good movie to see on the big screen. So I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to my boy Jonathan Mervine, who recently discovered the Flick Pick and Blu-ray hunting. For someone who had 0 Blu-rays a month ago to 40 now, the Flip Pick has injected you with the addiction. We watch your videos every day, man. Thanks, man. You know what? It's awesome when people tell me that, I inspired them to go out and, become movie enthusiasts to an extent. That's cool. I like how you use the term injected. I liked that. As I inject all of you. How many times have you visited Walmart this year? I go to Walmart once every 3 days on average. So what is that? 360 divided by... What is that? 100 times? 115 times or something? 120 times. Is that math correct? Somebody check that math and tell me how wrong I am. Have you ever peed blood? This is why I love my viewers. I've never pissed blood, not yet anyway. Will you buy the complete series of Rocko's Modern Life when it comes out this February? I liked Rocko's Modern Life. I like Mr. and Mrs. Big Head, but I was never huge enough into the show. What's your favorite WWE/F match of all time? 1998, King of the Ring, Mankind versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. That match really showcased passion and badassery. You have this guy falling off the cage. He accidentally goes through the cage. Blood's coming all over him. Teeth are coming out of his nose. He just keeps going on with the match. That was intense. And that match almost could make someone believe wrestling was... maybe not. Maybe I'm going too far. But that really had... There was something about that match that really was... It had your adrenaline pumping because you truly did not know what was going to come next. Blu-rays or digibooks, or I'm sorry, still books or digibooks. I'm more of a fan of digibooks. Gangnam Style is now the most viewed video on YouTube history. What do you think of this? Gangnam Style. That guy got lucky. That's what I think. There's this kid who keeps trash talking me in school. What should I do? You buy a little plastic skeleton. You buy a little plastic skeleton, and you walk around the hallways holding it, just mumbling to yourself. Trust me, that kid will never talk shit to you again because he's going to think you're going to stalk him and kill him one day. By the way, are you physically bigger than him? If you're physically bigger, just use your manhood to take control of the problem. What is the worst lie you have ever told? All right. In 1992, I told Tiny Todd one time that his wife was cheating on him. Now, why did I do this? Well, I had a good reason at the time. Me and him were kind of, at the time, splitting apart, and the bond needed to be reconnected. And he was spending a lot of time at home with his family, and I was just getting tired of it. So I told him this lie one day to kind of get him to go away with me to Tijuana, Mexico to see a donkey show. I think he ended up... I think Tiny Todd actually killed his family, but this is too far. All right. Do you think Bad Teacher is an underrated comedy? I think Bad Teacher was an okay one watch, kind of mediocre. By the way, speaking of underrated, can you make a video of your top underrated films? I think Hook is one of the most underrated films. Over the Top is definitely one of the most underrated films. I actually did make a video of underrated films. If you go to my Flickpick channel, it's movies so bad that they're good. Look up that video. What's the least favorite movie you saw this year? I'm not quite sure what my least favorite movie is so far. I gotta wait till the end of the year to make that video. I have a list and I have to figure it out. How do you think Breaking Bad is going to end? Who will die and live? To be honest, Breaking Bad is probably my most anticipated thing to do this summer. I actually can't even begin to guess where that show's going to go for the finale. In my opinion, I think I think Walter should die. So, do you have any advice for any reviewers? Yeah, if you're gonna do movie reviews, and by the way, I don't consider myself a movie reviewer. I am a movie enthusiast. I like to talk about movies. I don't want to be that guy who just sits there and that's my opinion. I want to just talk about my feelings. I don't want to be so formal. I would say if you're going to do movie reviews on YouTube, definitely just have a different opinion. Use some comedy if possible. Use a lot of visuals in your review. And just try to stand out differently. And plus, try to shoot your videos in with some kind of HD camera. You don't want to film them with like a VHS camcorder or something. Hey John, love your reviews, man. Just wanted to know, what do you think of the original Predator movie with Arnie? You son of a bitch. Fuck yeah, I love it, man. Jeez, that's the definition of testosterone. Did you ever see when me and Chris Stuckman did our parody of that? It's called the Jedi Predator Handshake. Look it up. I think you'll like it. Hey, what do you think about my lame-ass video loving Tiny Todd? I filmed it during an evening and spent 3 months on post-production, and that's what procrastination does to you. But I'd really like to hear your feedback, and I am a conceited asshole. Aren't we all, Lewis? A few people, did you just recently make that video, or is that an older video? Or am I stupid? All the Tiny Todd videos I've ever received in the past made me laugh. Because you take Tiny Todd and people are actually embracing him, and it's kind of weird and bizarre. By the way, man, if I haven't seen that video, PM me a link to it. When you filmed your Hobbit review, did Chris watch you? That sounds weird. No, I actually neither. I can't film videos with people watching me. I feel like an ass when I do it. I made him leave. I think he went to do his laundry or something. And I was like, he's like, I'll give you 10 minutes or something. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there filming my review as quickly as I can. I'm all scared somebody's gonna walk in. And I felt a little bit rushed. I'll say that. Where are we at? What actor do you think is overrated and underrated? As far as actors being overrated, I'm trying to think real quick here. Underrated. Off the top of my head, that's a very hard answer to give you. I believe some actors kind of just do the same thing every movie. Tom Cruise, for instance, I don't know. I think people are catching on, but I think he's a little extremely overrated as an actor. He kind of just plays Tom Cruise. I always thought Harrison Ford always kind of played Harrison Ford. And underrated. To be honest with you, I think all the good actors who deserve notoriety are kind of getting it, especially nowadays. In the mid-1990s, you could be a generic asshole and you had an acting career, but nowadays actors are getting better roles. Like, look at Tom Hardy. That guy almost went off into nowhere. He's a great actor, but he never really got his break until, 10 years after he really started doing it. So, what's the best-looking Blu-ray you have ever seen? Avatar looks pretty damn good on Blu-ray, man. It really does. The Dark Knight is another good Blu-ray. I personally think The Dark Knight is a better Blu-ray than The Dark Knight Rises. Hey, what did you think about... Oh, I'm sorry, I just answered that. Okay, would the Justice League movie be more badass if Christian Bale was Batman? No, I disagree. I think if they're going to do a Justice League movie, you need to reboot Batman, make him somebody who can be a little more in the fantasy aspect and gothic style Batman. We had our super ultra realistic Batman. Now it's time to kind of go somewhere where we can get away with different villains, Would I like to see Christian Bale, play another Batman role? Yeah, I would, but I think it's time to just reboot it, because if you're going to have people in there like The Flash and Green Lantern, you gotta reboot it. So, hey John, make your top 5 or possibly top 10 greatest Christmas movies list, in your opinion. I've actually made one of those every Christmas on my other channel. This year, speaking of that, I have a Bane mask on the way, and this has to do with my Christmas video. I'll just surprise you, but it does involve Bane. Hey John, you look like you're about 21. Am I close? I wish I was 21 still. I'd still have the future ahead of me in life. Unfortunately, I'm 25 years old. Have you seen the movie Brave yet? If so, what are your thoughts? I did watch Brave. I thought the CGI was fantastic. A lot of the movie, for the most part, I really enjoyed. I really liked the the medieval Scottish landscape thing. I thought some of the gags in the movie were funny. Overall, definitely not a Pixar movie that's going to go on my top 10 list. And kind of a movie that I don't really feel like watching ever again. You know, it was an okay one watch, but really not enough there for me. It really didn't give me what, other Pixar films like Toy Story gave me, or The Incredibles. What would you do if you were robbed? Okay, I'm sorry. Where are we going with this? What would you do if you were robbed? Kill him, beat him, rape him? Possibly all three, because I think they would all give me what I needed. Probably just beat them. I think a killing would go a little too far. A rape is... that's just too weird and bizarre. Plus, I don't know. Is this a woman who robbed me, or is this a man? Too many questions, too many variables. I can't get detailed there. Hey, John, what do you think about Jurassic Park Part 3? I think it's the most overproduced, generic movie that's not fun to watch, and it's kind of just looks like any director could have done it, even though Joe Johnston did direct it, who is kind of a good director, but I hated the way that movie looked. Yo, Flickster, did you watch A Wonderful Life? Not yet. What are your thoughts on the Pacific Rim trailer? I already answered that. Do you have a 3D TV? On some of your Blu-ray updates, you buy 3D Blu-rays. I actually only own 1 or 2 3D Blu-rays. I don't own a 3D TV, but one day I might just get one because it's already going to be a feature of the TV. Hey, John, I'm a big fan. Thanks, man. That's from Ruben. Do you rate movies on IMDb? No, I don't actually remember my IMDb account password, so I can't even log in to do anything. Did you know your last name means him who patches shoes or fabric? That's what that means, really? That makes me feel like a piece of shit. Oh my God, John, I flipped out when that guy said Blink-182 and Angels and Airwaves on your Ask Me Anything 17 video. Laugh Out Loud, Blink-182 is one of my favorite bands. They are very good. They were definitely like the sound of the late 1990s. Can you show us your girlfriend right now? Literally, right now. I don't even have my phone in here. I don't even have my cell phone on me. Do I? Where's my cell phone? I need to stand up. I'm sorry. You guys are just going to have to bear with me. I need to stand up and stretch my ligaments. Oh, there it is. Here we go. There's my girlfriend right there. She's at work right now, by the way. Okay, John, what are your thoughts on the Oblivion trailer? I have actually not checked it out, never played the game or anything. I'm sorry, Oblivion, yes, I'm thinking of the fucking game or something. Oblivion, Tom Cruise. Looks like it could be good. Looks like a cool sci-fi movie. I hope it really... I hope the twist is worth the effort, but it looks good. Seems like they put that movie together pretty fast, too. Do you think The Dark Knight Rises has a lot of rewatchability? Because I've seen a few Blu-ray reviews of people saying that they think the movie is slow and they will tend to select certain scenes. What are your thoughts? I can't just select certain scenes. You know, when I watch a movie, those scenes that I love so much, like the Bane versus Batman fight, or even the first scene with Batman in it when he's going through the tunnel and he's shooting off the power of the vehicles, and you got that close-up of Batman. You know, it's all those parts that you have to watch the rest of the movie to really build up that juice to explode when you see those scenes. I've actually watched the movie twice on Blu-ray right now, so... And I probably could watch it again in a few more months. I love Batman movies. You know, I'd say The Dark Knight is probably my most rewatched Blu-ray. John, what are your thoughts? Or I just answered that because I'm an idiot. Do you like pork? Fucking love it. Another one. If you could cast yourself in any role of any movie that's been made, which role would it be? Personally, I think you could have replaced Ben Affleck in Daredevil. Hell, Dolly Parton could have replaced Ben Affleck as Daredevil. You make a good point. So I just walk around being a blind lawyer, and then I have a stick and I fight, what's her name? Elektra. I would want to fight. See, I would do more than fight her on a playground. I would make love to her on the slide. But I don't know. Any movie role. I don't know. You know, I like to play. I like to play Sam from Transformers. Just take Shia LaBeouf out and put me in it. Optimus! I'm on my way, Sam. And then I run away. How can you make someone look like an asshole? I don't know, man. I do my best though. That's what I'm good at. Thoughts on Armageddon as best all-around movie? Is the movie underrated? I think Armageddon gets a lot of shit it doesn't deserve. That movie right there is the pinnacle of popcorn action. Like, it's so fucking bizarre and it doesn't make sense, but it's fun to look at, and at times it has some good scenes. I really like the scene where, well, I'll tell you the worst scene in the movie is when they jump the rover over the Armageddon, or over the Grand Canyon cliff on the... Hell, everything that happened on that fucking asteroid was so fucking made up. Like, they have these jagged spikes, but they're just standing there and the gravitational pull is not bothering them. It's completely, like, overproduced movie, but I've always liked Armageddon. Hey John, in your last Q&A, I asked you about your overrated movies, and you were kind of reluctant to answer. If you could just leave that whole if you could just leave that whole idea, my new question is to you: if you were stranded on an island, which movie characters would you like to be stranded with, and why? I would like to be stranded with movie characters. They're all going to be female, by the way. No, Batman's going to be there. For some odd reason, Batman's going to be there. But the other ones would be basically, let's go with Jessica Biel from Blade Trinity. I liked her in her leather vest. Let's go with Demi Moore from Striptease. Let's also go with I think that's all I need. I think that'll do. I think that'll be just fine. Any more than that, I can't handle it. Plus, we're going to run out of coconut milk and everyone's going to go thirsty. What do you think of Dan DeHaan, Andrew from Chronicle, playing Harry Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Yeah, I think that's a good choice. That guy looks like a young Leonardo DiCaprio, so I think it'll be okay. Do you watch The Last Airbender? Never watched it, never was huge on it. Yo, Flickster, do you watch anime? No, I was never a huge fan of anime. I get why people like it, but it was just never for me. Hey, John, can you do a Gollum impression? It's soft and juicy. What the fuck was that? No, obviously I can't. Tumblr or Death Star? Tumblr or the Death Star? I think the Tumblr's a little less destructible. Like, you can just shoot a laser at the Death Star, the fucking thing blows up. You can shoot a missile at the back of the Tumblr, but it still turns into the Bat Pod. So, fuck it. Say a funny joke. I don't have any. That's sad. I have the worst memory of any person. Like, I can't remember things that have to do with anything other than a memory. Like, if I lived it, I can remember it. Say a funny joke. I don't have a funny joke. I don't have a funny joke. That's sad, isn't it? What are you allergic to? Nothing. Nothing that I know of. Who's more badass? William Walkover. I can't even read the fucking names you're saying, man. Who's more badass, Martin Riggs or John McClane? Martin Riggs. John McClane, all the way. Hey bro, have you seen the movie Lawless? Not yet. I do want to rent it though. Tom Hardy's a fucking badass in it. I've heard Tom Hardy's good in it, but I heard that they just kind of underuse him. Do you like camping in the woods, and have you ever canoed or kayaked? I've actually went kayaking one time, like 10 years ago. I really liked it. Camping in the woods, I haven't done that in a long, like probably 15 years. Hey John, it's Mr. Wood. What's the most shocking movie ending you have ever seen, and would you have ever and would you have ever poked a baby in the eye by accident or spilled yogurt all over a teacher by accident? Because I have. Do I still deserve to live? Poking the baby in the eye, you're definitely going to burn in hell one day for that. Most shocking movie ending of all time. The Sixth Sense had a really good ending on it. Now I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial, but the ending to the movie Saw, the original Saw film, which in my opinion, if they never made any of the other Saw movies, which were all junk ass, that movie would have went down as a cult classic. But the ending to the original Saw movie always kind of blew my mind. I was like, that was a good ending. But most shocking movie endings of recent years, not many come to mind. It seems like the same ending's been done 100 times, but The Sixth Sense, and I like the ending to Saw. What do you think of Australian accents? Hey, you want to go down under and see my Joey? I think they're good, man. I like them. What are your thoughts on the Boondock Saints? I really like the first movie. John, do you think you will watch The Dark Knight Rises on Blu-ray as much as you watched The Dark Knight? Eventually, maybe. I don't know, though. John, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? Technically, I am a vampire. I stay up all night, I sleep all day, and I drink the blood of the innocent. I think being a werewolf would be cool, but you really got to think about the aspect of ripping all your clothes off and running around the neighborhood as a hairy animal. Sounds like my uncle Gary. I'd rather be the vampire. I want to live forever. What do you call a vampire who... Oh, here's a joke for you guys. What do you call a vampire who breaks down 10 miles from a blood bank? You didn't put the punchline in there. I don't know. How does the joke end? Okay. Johnny, what do you think about my top 15 movies? They're all good, man. Every single one of those movies is good. Pineapple Express, I would question. But like I said, top 10s, top 15s, if those are your favorite movies and you can back up the opinion of why each one is good to you, that's what counts. Forget about the comma under this one. Okay. Can you name the best Blu-ray transfers? I actually made an entire video. Look it up on YouTube. Should be one of the first ones that pop up. It's top 10 Blu-rays of all time, I believe I called it. My number one was The Dark Knight, though. What do you think of... What name did you give your new office? I'm not quite sure. I didn't give it a name yet. I'm definitely calling the basement the Flick Cave. But my... did I get a text message? Okay. I haven't given a name to the new office yet. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Johnny's Blue Bunker of Sadness and Desperation, where he goes to make love to himself. What is the movie True Lies about? The movie True Lies stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis. It's about a undercover CIA agent who basically lies to his family, and eventually everything goes down where he basically has to become this big badass, and his wife finally sees what he is, even though it's like, why would Arnold Schwarzenegger be selling computer software? It's like, why are you working out so much to do that? Watch True Lies. It's a good movie. All right. I'm going to end it right there, guys. That's enough questions for today. I'm actually getting lightheaded. So anyway, guys, ask your questions down below. I'll see you next week for an all-new Q&A. And by the way, did I have something else to say? No, I didn't. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.